Go ahead.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going somewhere.
It looks like it's recording.
It's recording. Let's see what it sounds like.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So this is.
It's recording.
Should we test it again or no?
Yeah, we could test it. Mic test 1 2 1 2. It's
Clicky
just counting in to where we stopped.
That's why I'm not a professional musician.
I can never keep a beat. I'm not good with beats.
I'm terrible with beats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rhythms are not my forte.
Okay, so this is how. The tradition for the show is. We both sing the jingle. Of the show.
Okay.
And then we just talk.
Okay.
And if you feel uncomfortable or you feel like it needs to be edited.
I already feel uncomfortable.
Of course. If you feel like you need me to edit something, let me know. I prefer to try to just keep it because it's time waster radio.
Yeah.
So the point is that I'm actually hoping no one really listens. That's the point of this podcast. Okay. Or radio show, excuse me.
Oh, it's a radio show.
It's totally a radio show.
Oh, I thought it was a podcast. And I would have to bring back my iPod from way back when.
Isn't it funny, huh?
It's super funny.
It's terrible. Okay, well, I'm eating this one grape, and then I'll sing the jingle.
Okay, and I'll follow.
Do you know the jingle?
I don't know the jingle.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you might. But since I just made this show up, it doesn't make any sense. Okay. I want to keep reading these scripts. Alright, there's the radio show going on. Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. Do you want to do it again?
Wait, do I have to do that too?
If you want to.
Oh, okay.
Or you were fine with that?
I'm totally fine with that.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it again?
Let's just do it one more time.
Okay.
Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. That was apt. Also, I gotta stop smoking.
Do you want to do it again?
I will totally do it again. If there's one guest in the world I would keep doing this, this could be the whole show.
Here.
Wait. Actually, I want to sip a beer first.
Time Waster Radio for those who...
Radio for those who...
Radio for those who refuse to listen.
Okay.
You're listening to...
Time Waster Radio. Radio for those who refuse to listen. Okay, well today we have a special guest. Not opposed to the other special guests that we have, but a super special guest. And would the guests like to introduce themselves?
Hi, my name is Laura.
Okay, is that your...
My name is Laura Hyunjhee Kim, or you can find me online as Laura Onsale.
Laura Onsale.
Laura Onsale.
Or, didn't I, was it me? It was me. Laura Kim.
Laura Kim.
That caught on with a certain small group of folks.
It did. Yeah, it's like an
really
echo.
Just
like,
Philip Wong.
So you would have to say like, Laura Kim.
That's, I don't even know my own phraseology.
You would be like, Peter, Max. Laura. Kim.
We have Laura here on the show.
Hello,
Laura,
everyone.
Please, feel free to say hello again.
Hi, my name is Laura Hyunjhee Kim, a.k.a. Laura Onsale. I love making videos, performing for the camera or off camera, and working with new media, creating weird websites, building personas, dancing, and knowing what's up on the internet.
Flash photography.
flash photography. I love setting up my camera, mostly my phone, by meaning camera. And working with wonky footage, consumer devices, webcams, anything that would make my life easier making art.
Really, is that the process? Whatever, it's easier.
Probably. I like to find shortcuts. So I would like to say that I like to make Hollywood-esque videos using low-budget equipment.
No, wait, okay. I like that description, but also I know you're a big fan of George Kuchar.
Yes.
So, but I also think you were maybe doing that before you met George in a different way.
I was doing a lot of pop parodies, both American pop songs, Korean pop songs. I've always been driven by music, sound, and gestures, and saying things very literally. So I'm a big fan of puns, humor, satire. I just love how being Korean and speaking Korean mixes in with English and creates odd scenarios and words, because I take things very literally.
Yeah.
But then when it gets implemented in the context of making art, it becomes a metaphor. And so I find that very interesting, and that's what I've been doing. I also love making music videos that are not traditionally, conceived as a high budget music video, but I definitely love working with lyrics and garage band sounds. And
you're a green screen queen.
I am a green screen queen. Green screen queen.
Yeah, well, I think you and I are both interested in language.
Performance and sound?
Yes. But specifically, the literalism of language.
Yeah.
And names are powerful.
Names are very powerful, which is why I liked switching up my name on Facebook and seeing how people react. It was funny because I went to an exhibition once where work of mine was in, and there were two people who were debating whether my name was Laura Kim or whether it was Laura Onsale, which is what I was going by on Facebook.
See.
Yeah, and it's not that I change, I play with personas, but I feel like I'm always me. I'm just wearing different wigs and wearing different costumes. And so that process is also really enjoyable because I'm always using my image. I'm always, I'm seen as the same person. But when I use a different name, it gets labeled differently, and I frame it differently. And so, yeah, I'm very interested in that push and pull and, literal aspect of names.
Could I be wrong in assuming that you might have a similar problem that I have, that in some ways you would like other people to participate in the work?
Yes.
But it's hard to do.
It's very hard to do. That's actually a really good question, because I have been thinking about that a lot. With my recent project, I have 12 personas that I'm working with. And part of that effort was to try to get more people involved. But I'm a control freak.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, I like loose ends. And so I've always been trying to collaborate with other people, but then, there's something, I don't know.
It's hard to get,
really hard.
Sometimes it's hard to get people to collaborate, and functionally participate, and be open to the situation. It's also hard, right, for, to have people participate, and then maybe they're really open, and then 2 days later they're like, I didn't sign on the models release, or those things. And you're a very conscious person, concerned about people's feelings, and you also want to make work. So when you work in these veins, it's kind of it's complicated because
it is complicated.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's something you share as well, especially when you're known a lot for using your own body. People see your work as you, or narcissistic, which is totally fine. But it's interesting.
You're fine with the narcissistic.
Oh, we're all narcissistic in one way or the other.
I'm just trying to
own it.
Just trying to get a show on the road.
But if you think about it, like, like, let's say, people take photos of you.
Yeah. Which I let people do
Yeah,
all the time.
yeah. And then that's your work, and you're in it, and people like it because you're in it. And when you start shooting other people, and other people are in it, they don't see it as your work.
Okay.
And that's something that I feel like I deal with a lot, and I've been trying to create other avatars or work that's not figurative, but I can't move away from the figure because I love seeing people and seeing how other people see me.
Because you care about people. Like, again, I feel like it's the same thing. For me, I don't have to struggle too often. I mean, other people just assume I'm a narcissistic fuck.
We always struggle all the time.
Everyone's struggling. I mean, we're not struggling too hard because we have a computer that's recording this
That's
right
true.
now. Yeah. But it
Our
is...
computer's struggling on our behalf.
The computer struggles are
and the
different.
mic struggles, having to carry our sound waves with the system.
Why do I feel like this is turning into a metaphors episode?
Metaphors was awesome. So what was your take on metaphors?
My take on
what did you get out of it?
Well, I don't think it's over. So I continue. I feel like when I look at metaphors, it's one, I hate the term meta. I'm sure we covered that, but for me it was like a therapeutic release. Oh, let's take it down a notch. Honestly, because we didn't go to art school together, and I loathed a huge chunk of going to art school. When you and I just sort of came upon doing that, it was a relief to me in a sense where I was able to turn off a filter that had been really overtaking me. And I was surprised because I thought I was strong enough to go into an academic situation and not be so highly influenced with the voices.
Yeah.
But I truly was.
Yeah.
And so when we started doing that, it was a giant relief. And it led to other things. I mean, there were combinations of other folks doing similar or whatever collaborative projects where we were sort of regurgitating. But I also...
the Kacharian standpoint or exercise in many ways and a huge relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still to this day, George Kachar is a huge... easily one of the better influences I've ever let into my life.
I think the Metaphors project was that, like, it was all about improv, about the moment, and in a way it was very personal too. I think it was about building
Super
friendship
personal.
and, like, getting to know each other
True.
even more, and even sharing the same space, but also creative space, which we just talked about, like, how we're very different, like, we work with ourselves so much that it's hard to work with other people, but somehow that process was very, very smooth, and I think it also taught us how to work with other people. I mean, you worked with other people a lot, but in a very collaborative, like, way where we're on the same wavelength and kind of creating a narrative together.
We jumped into it. I mean, we had a mutual friend, Michelle, who sort of like said, you two should know each other, and we just kind of had a cocktail.
Yeah.
And then what I really liked about, my memory is a little bit foggy, even though I am a wise owl. I think we just hung out. I think maybe one of the first nights we hung out, we were like, fuck this, we might as well be making some art. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if we were to spend time together and we enjoy talking about it, why not make it? Yeah. And
less talky more do.
Yeah, and also it started from, like, sharing a lot of weird videos on YouTube and sharing inspiration, and we found a common ground where we love parody.
Yes,
that's true. It's a huge chunk of metaphors. That's metaphors, right? And and that's another way of, instead of, like, sharing video clips back and forth online, we would just, hey, this is what I found. Here it is, and watch it and put it back into our work.
I specifically, I can't remember if it was Metaphors 1 through 19, but I do remember the one, I feel like our creative breakthrough, like, with doing that project, personally, was the one, it must be Metaphors 4, 3.
It might be 3.
Where we started repeating the lines. We got really insistent. We were like, we're gonna watch this. What do you find the strongest out of this clip?
Right.
And then someone put on a wig and regurgitate it.
Yes.
And those were fun. Like, that was fun practice.
And I think we tried script writing, and it just it became this odd, like...
I have Google Docs out the wazoo. Yeah. But did we ever go to them? No.
And also, it was like one directing the other, which was interesting because I would handle the camera and then shoot you and then you would shoot me, or then we would have iMovie on, or I think it was photo booth most of the
Photo
time.
booths. We did a lot of photo booths. We were really into... Well, it was the only thing we had, or all we knew to do at the time.
Yeah, and also photo booth green screen.
Yes.
That was... Thank you,
Thank you,
Apple.
Yeah.
Thanks for
one of the
supporting
few
our
things
projects.
we'll thank you
Yeah.
for. Yeah.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Oh, have you... What would Steve do? Steven Jobs do. Steven Jobs do. There's this amazing Burning Man musical thing online.
Oh, is there?
And there's a sequence with that song, and I have to say it's quite brilliant.
Okay.
I
will watch it.
Yeah, one of the few clips we haven't shared with each other. These grapes are good.
So, also there was a lot of interest in superpowers, superhuman.
Saturday morning cartoons.
And in a way, like, using the camera and green screen environment as a way to amplify ourselves or hide ourselves, I think was a big part of it.
Yeah. Express something to the people.
Express yourself.
Yeah, we had fun doing those. I hope to interview you again someday and go even further in depth than that. I'd like to know what you're doing right now.
Quick change of subjects.
I try.
So I am currently pursuing a practice-based art PhD in Boulder.
Bolder, Colorado.
No, better Boulder, brighter future. And as we were speaking, we're currently drinking a beverage called Buffalo Gold.
Yeah.
And so it's all about the Stampede here. And
tell me about the Stampede.
Yeah, there's a nightclub called Stampede, which I haven't been to.
Full disclosure.
And yeah, it's interesting.
Is it a gay club?
No, I think it's just a college dance club. I've been looking for dancing places because I miss San Francisco's goth clubs, and there aren't any here. And
the goth clubs?
Yeah, there aren't any goth.
What goth clubs in San Francisco were you going to?
Cat Club, TNA.
Oh, we never did that together.
We never did it together. But yeah, I just miss expressive dancing and people not caring about personal space or being very conscious of personal space and just being very free. And here, when I go dancing, it's a little bit more mainstream-y dancing environment where people are very like self-conscious about how they dance. And
well, people are trying to get laid.
Well, probably that too. Yeah. And so it's a college town, again, I have to emphasize. College tech town, which I didn't realize, it's one of the most dense tech cities in the States.
Boulder?
Yeah, Google came in. Google.
Of course.
Google. And now all the city bikes have Google ads on it, so that's really exciting. It follows
buses,
me. It follows.
Google bikes instead of buses.
Yes.
One drama leads to another.
There's talks about Amazon coming into Denver at some point, or they're like lobbying or something.
Maybe like box cars that you can drive, like little,
yes,
just like 2-seaters.
mini Fiats, not just Fiats, but mini Fiats.
Mini Fiat.
Selfless driving cars on the streets. Like Boulder's the future, man.
Dude.
But I would say,
lots of man buns.
Contrasting with the technology aspect, there is a lot of nature. I've seen a lot of animals which I haven't encountered before or have encountered in zoos.
Yeah.
Just out in the wild, and that's been pretty exciting. I saw a moose chomping on...
You didn't have a car and... Oh, I'm sorry.
No, recently though.
Oh, moose chomping on what?
On trees.
Yeah. Be careful.
They're vicious.
They're territorial.
Huge.
Yeah,
They're very big. But San Francisco, that's true. I did not have a car.
Yeah.
But the mountains here are definitely a different scale from the hills in San Francisco or Berkeley. So.
Marin.
I did like the Marin area.
There are mountain lions over there.
Are there? I never seen one.
I saw one over there.
Oh, there's a lot of people who see bears here too. Bear cubs.
Bears were out a bit, yeah.
The memes, I don't know if you saw those, the meme with the bear getting anesthetized, falling sideways.
No.
Was here on campus.
I know. You'll have to, again.
I will have to, another sharing moment.
We've fallen off of our sharing path because we've both
life happened.
Yeah, life
happened. I've been away. I was in Korea last year.
Yeah, how was that?
It was alright.
Seoul most of the time?
Yeah, I had a residency at a university, and I quit that to come here, but it was alright. It felt a lot stuffier than being in the States. I guess, I don't know why, but I wasn't used to that art environment.
That particular art environment.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just very, I just think it's a very hierarchical system in universities, especially art universities, and I didn't really respond well to that. I would have stayed if I was there, but since I had the opportunity to come here, I decided to quit and come instead.
Did you feel forcibly more rebellious there or something?
I was actually working on a project to show at the Internet Archive show, and it was interesting because, although I think it was because I was a woman and younger, and also doing performance and video, which a lot of the other artists were doing traditional work. Traditional meaning painting, sculpture, some video people, but not that many. And so there was and I was working with drawing charts about computer history and internet history, and when I showed that to some of the people who are at that school, they're like, "Why are you doing this? What's the point?" And so I didn't really feel like they understood the thematics that I was working on. They were more like, "Oh, she's doing weird stuff, let's bring her in." And so it was a good realization, but also something that I feel like I could bring back.
I feel really naive because I'm thinking when I think of Seoul or I think of Korea, I'm thinking of the ads and the technology that's going on there, and so I'm surprised to hear.
There's artists who are doing really interesting work. Every time I go, I'm like, "Whoa, it's cool," but it's a way smaller country than the States, and therefore even the art world here is very insular.
Yeah.
And so there you can see how much more dense it is. So you see the same names over and over again for certain shows, especially within new media or video. And then outside of that, it seems like you have to, I haven't really been there physically present. And so,
you're an outsider coming back.
Yeah. And I think unless you're Nam June-paik.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Love him.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, he's my art dad.
Sharon Grace, while we're at it.
Love you, Sharon.
Sharon, miss you, Sharon. I hope you...
I actually have a really good Sharon Grace story.
Please.
So it was when I was at S art school. SFAI.
I think I already said it once, or did I not? No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Oh.
You didn't.
Well, I'll bleep it out. That school that shall not be named.
I love SFAI.
No, I do too.
You can bleep it though.
Sort of.
I love
Courtney Love went there for 3 weeks.
And she is still making art. See?
Yeah.
We're still making art.
Exactly.
It worked.
Yeah,
the magic.
totally. She talks.
Let me put on my admissions app.
She talks so much shit about it though, but that's why I love her. Okay, so.
So I was there to check out the school. I was debating between should I go to San Francisco, should I go to New York. This is when I was based in Wisconsin, Madison, and went to San Francisco, and I was scheduled to meet certain people, and I had to, I attended Sharon Grace's critique. And she was told to bring me back to the Chestnut campus, which back then I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to get a ride from the professor and then leave.
I kind of already know where this is going.
Which is also great, because in that critique, I met so many of artist friends who I still am friends with.
Yeah. But
I was coming back from 3rd Street from the grad center, and it was, she had this car, the back was all taped.
Yes.
And I was like,
it was a blue, light blue.
No, back then it was gray. It was gray duct tape.
No, but the car was like a teal blue.
Yeah. And so I was in the car with her, and she was like, and I was asking her why didn't you? It seems like it was there for a while. So why didn't you fix your window. And she was like, it's going to get broken again anyways. And it felt, I was like, okay, that's a response. And so, riding back, I had this whole conversation about Nam June Paik. And her being I think she was a psychology major before, and all these stories. And so
NASA scientist.
Yeah, and I got back, and I think I helped her with like unloading stuff for other class, like undergrad class, because she was super generous and would bring like big crafts of coffee and
fresh coffee.
Yeah, all these food. I was like, where?
Really good places.
Yeah,
too.
Where did that come from? And I guess it was there the whole time in the truck while she had her other class. So apparently she loves undergrads more.
That's even better.
So that's my sharing great story. But
as someone who's been welcome to that carafe of coffee and organic whatever cornbread,
all the bread and fruit.
It's better to know that she was storing it in her trunk while she did her other class before she showed up. I love her to death.
So that wasn't a really great story, but it was a story.
No, but you got to ride in that. I got to ride in that car approximately 3 or 4 times.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah.
It's an important. She would insist on driving a couple of her students, depending on the way the classes would go. Mm-hmm. When she found out I lived in the Western Addition, even though she lived in Soma or something, she insisted a couple of times. She was like, "I'll drive you home," and I was like, "No, it's fine. I like walking. Like I really like walking." That's something that I should say about that school. I walked to and fro almost every class, and people, it was a good, my legs are long, so it was like a 45 to an hour long walk. I remember people thought I was insane.
You walked everywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
I do walk everywhere.
You walked to Land's End from...
Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah, from downtown. I actually just finally started looking at the app on the iPhone, and I was like, I underestimated how much I was walking in town.
You were walking.
I think I was averaging about 7 miles a day at least.
Probably, yeah.
It was nuts.
Easily.
But I do, as far as Sharon goes, I just remember when she would insist, and a couple of times I took the ride just for the experience, but I also had to explain to people that I liked walking. Particularly coming home, I would take a ride. Going to school, I had to walk. I had to get that. I had to take my energy level down. I couldn't handle 3-hour fatigue classes. I really couldn't. I had to be numbed down from
exhausted.
Just a little tired.
Smidge
smidge tired.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's me.
Funny. Yeah, that was when was that? What year was that for you?
I was there 2006, 2008-ish.
Okay. Yeah, I was there 2010 to 12.
Yes, that's why we got introduced. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was because I met Michelle in her last class for her undergrad, and so.
And Michelle has a penchant for going, you, me, friends, now.
That class was really fun.
What class was it?
It was Tony's video art class, advanced video, and so that class it had it was Michelle and all the people that we still know and we're still in touch with.
Yes.
That I will not name because for their privacy reasons.
Yes, and that's really sweet. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle. Love you.
Yeah, you're so professional. You're really good at and I won't even try to dig you into talking shit. Cause I've done such a good job on the previous episode.
Who was your previous interviewee?
Michelle was the one before this. Miss P, who you don't know, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Ernesto Soprane, and then Philip Wong.
That's a lot of people.
Well, I want to get 7 in the bag before I release them. So.
I think you should, will you, release it on Spotify?
Yeah. This is going national.
Oh, yeah.
Or international, I guess.
I think it should be the longest podcast ever.
I would, first of all, I want our interview right now to be the longest ever, but we both know I have to drive through the mountains to catch a shuttle.
Technically, I think we could...
Well, you could send some samples in and we could just expand it.
I'm saying that if you were to stay longer, we could easily talk 6 hours straight.
I will fly back for reviews. I I will easily fly back from Greece to do this with you. No problem.
Or it could be remote too.
Can it? I don't know. I'm trying
I like the eye contact.
So far,
the FaceTime.
I feel like it needs to be in person. I think
Yeah.
I don't have, I'm not super big on giant rules, but then sometimes I think maybe I am.
You have your parameters.
I think this one has to be in person.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I'll do a Skype one. We could do a Skype.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see.
Yeah.
Branding,
Right.
Skype. Is there another thing we can use that's not Skype? I'm trying to
Google Hangout.
No, okay.
FaceTime you could do actually with your phone. But if you want to record it, that would be a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other questions do you have?
I mean, I have tons of questions.
You could do one more or two more, depending on your time.
What questions do you have for yourself?
Oh.
You can ask yourself 2 questions. What would they
Man. Like really stretching. So Laura, why do you do what you do? That's a great question, Laura. I do what I do because I love doing what I do, and what I do makes me extremely happy, and it's my way of talking to other people because I am not really good at talking with other people otherwise, or be vulnerable in public. But Laura,
Good
it
answer.
seems like you guard yourself a lot in your videos, and then you're not super vulnerable. You still put on a costume, a wig, and also you write or think about what you will say before you say it on screen. So tell us more about that. Well, Laura, that's a great question. I think for me it's actually, I think it's coming from more from a cultural side. I grew up a whole chunk of my time, like teenage years, in Korea, which is where it's the language itself is very much more oppressive in certain ways, also more polite and respectful. Respectful to your elders, respectful to culture, how you talk about yourself. And so I think that's always been a sort of a guard, and I think I just decided to own it and embrace my bilingualism and biculturalism, and therefore maybe the work that I make may look a little bit more vulnerable to Koreans versus it being to Americans or the English speaking population. And so I haven't tested it out, but I believe that the vulnerability could be read, or the more outgoingness could be read differently in different cultural situations. Thank you, Laura, for interviewing me. Thank you, Laura, for answering.
That makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Laura, for doing my job. I appreciate it.
I've never done that before. That was really weird and awesome, actually.
That's what we do at Time Waster
Yeah, it's
Radio.
very cathartic.
I almost feel like that you should sing a song now or something.
Oh, I have so you could ask me about what I'm working on right now.
Oh. I thought I tried to do that earlier. Or I was just asking what you were doing in your life.
Right.
What are you working on right now, Laura?
So I'm not going to talk about my main project because I talk about it all the time at the moment. But you can find more about it at seicalabs.org, SEICALABS.org, which is a virtual organization where I am the founding director of 12 Persona, and I am creating a speculative fiction around that lab and researching about robots and stuff. On the other hand, I'm working on, I've been conceiving this project over the last few days, so it's really fresh.
Okay.
It may happen, it might not happen.
Love fresh
but
ideas.
I thought you might be interested. So I think it's going to be a music video called, potentially called That Borg, though.
Okay.
And it might be more like a dubstep-y kind of soundtrack that goes with it.
Star Trek reference, Borg, no? Or
Oh, yeah, kind of like, or Cyborg.
Just making sure.
There are a lot of Borgs out there. And so, yeah, it's going to be a very sassy music video which has the hook of, like that board though, and talking about, anyways.
We'll share it.
I'll share it with you once it's done.
Are you gonna shoot it here in your? That's something I would like to talk about. We're sitting in your living room.
You are sitting in my shooting space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where,
my shooting range.
Yeah, totally.
It's very small.
It's bigger than I imagined,
Oh, really?
actually. It is.
Some people are surprised when they walk in, like, oh, you dance in front of here.
It is. It's not massive.
Yeah.
But the couch adds a dimension to it. So.
We could sit 3 people easily here.
Easily, probably 4.
Yeah.
Easily.
And it's very plasticky.
Yeah. Where'd you get this couch?
It's furnished.
Oh, this came with the dorm.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm living in a dorm, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to ask you.
Oh, it's not a dorm. It's called housing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, part of your language.
With the cement block walls and
Yeah.
the prefabricated couches. I don't know why I said dorm. I have no idea.
Yeah, I shoot here.
Yeah.
I have my green screen in my bedroom, it's all folded.
How big is... No, she said that because she thought I was getting excited and wanted to pull it out. I'm not saying
No, because that's what I used to do. I used to just
Yeah.
have a green screen like tacked up to my room.
Yeah.
That was also a upgrade because I used to use green wallpaper, which was
Yeah.
also gift wrapping paper.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, so what size of green screen are you using these days?
I'm not really with size, but it would be the size of this couch.
Okay.
That goes up to there, the ceiling.
I'm gonna guesstimate 10 by 8. Is that big?
A piece of paper?
Is it the screen? No, 10 by 8 is the size
Oh,
of the
that's
screen.
2 feet, yeah.
I don't know.
Probably. It's pretty big. I can reach up high and not get cut off. But I still have
Your
to.
feet, everything can be on screen.
Everything can be on screen. Laura on screen.
Laura on screen.
But yeah, I still have to cut out a lot of parts because I don't use professional lighting in my work, as you know.
Yes, Dogma 95.
So therefore, a lot goes into post-production. Half of my time, probably editing, goes into trying to figure out how to...
Fix that shadow.
Yeah.
Which is the name of my third band.
That's a really good name, Fix That Shadow.
Anyone who works in green screen is well aware.
Fix That Shadow, chroma key it, ultra key it, if you're using Premiere. Which I use now. I switched to Premiere.
You've switched over.
Yeah. You have to go, huh?
Maybe. I got a call from Los Angeles. I think that's
you should pick it. I think you should pick it up. Speakerphone.
Probably. Okay. Wait.
Speakerphone.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, may I speak with Peter Lawrence?
Yes, this is he.
Hello, I'm calling from BRI Interviewing, a public opinion research company. I'm not trying to sell you anything or ask for a donation, but I would like to have you take a few minutes to answer a brief survey about issues that are important to voters in California.
Sure.
Thank you. A moment, please. First, have I reached you today on a cell phone or a landline?
A landline.
Okay. What is your age?
Do I really have to say?
If you prefer not to say, that's all right.
Okay, I'm 41.
Okay, thank you. And what is your ethnicity? White or Caucasian, Latino or Hispanic, Black or African American, Asian American or Pacific Islander, Native American, mixed race, or other?
I'm gonna go with other.
Sir?
Other, please.
Okay. Um, can you please specify?
I'm sorry?
Can you please specify your choice in
What?
the...
Okay, fine. I'm white. Or Caucasian, whatever they're saying these days.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, in November of 2018, there will be a general election in which voters will choose a governor, senator, members of Congress, the state legislature, and other statewide offices. How likely are you to vote in that election? The options...
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Sorry. The options are definitely will vote, probably will vote, chances are about 50-50, probably will not vote, definitely will not vote.
I will definitely vote.
Okay. Do you feel things in California are generally going in the right direction, or are things on the wrong track?
I would say generally in the right direction, but there's some problems.
I'm sorry, sir, can you repeat that again?
I would say generally in the right direction.
Okay. Do you approve or disapprove of the job that Jerry Brown is doing as governor?
Can you
The
repeat
options
that?
are strongly approve, somewhat approve, somewhat disapprove, strongly disapprove.
Somewhat approve.
Okay. Do you approve or disapprove of the job that the California State Legislature is doing?
Approve.
Strongly approve?
Strongly approve.
Somewhat approve. Okay. Do you feel that the cost of living in California is too high, or do you think the cost of living in California is about right?
So high.
So high.
Okay. Overall, do you feel that taxes in California are too high, too low, or about right?
Way too high.
The options are too high, too low, about right.
Too high.
Too high.
Okay. Thinking about taxes in California, do you feel that there is sufficient transparency about how your tax dollars are being spent? The options are definitely tax transparency is sufficient, somewhat tax transparency is sufficient, somewhat tax transparency is not sufficient, definitely tax transparency is not sufficient.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
The question was, thinking about taxes in California, do you feel that there is a sufficient transparency about how your tax dollars are being spent?
I mildly approve, whatever the middle one was.
Yee.
The options are definitely tax transparency is sufficient, somewhat tax transparency
Okay,
is sufficient.
somewhat.
Okay. For each, please indicate if you have a strongly favorable, somewhat unfavorable, or strongly unfavorable opinion of the person or group. If you have not heard of the name, just indicate so and move on.
Move on.
The first one is California Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce?
Commerce.
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat that again?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've got food in the microwave. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be rude. I used to do that job. That was a 7-minute segment on the show.
Wow, that took a while.
I wasn't, I mean, I'm glad it took that turn,
Yeah.
but I really, I'm really
Your desk
excited.
job days.
Yeah, that hurt. And also, I feel horrible, but I just had to. Also, I'm registered in Colorado now, so.
You are?
Yeah.
You're a Colorado resident.
High five.
High five. That was a high five. Me too.
Hashtag me too.
Hashtag.
Sorry,
hashtag.
sorry.
I don't know about that. But that. So what this? So let's talk about the Colorado license.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you don't have one.
No, I have a license. Yeah, it has a hologram on it.
It has a hologram, and I was very surprised that compared to the California license that it's black and white.
Yeah.
There's no color to it.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No, it's the photo itself is black and white.
Oh yeah, but it has.
But I wonder why some photos are in color and some are in black and white.
Maybe that's a progressive liberal statement on not overanalyzing people's skin tones. I don't know. But it's also when you're meeting someone, you want the photo to look like them, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You want them to look good, and black and white generally gives out better contours than color.
What is there a controversy around that, or
No, I'm just asking a question.
Oh, because you got a car.
Yeah. I had to declare residency, and that was a very painful process because I do like being a California resident. Yeah.
All the benefits, no problems. I'm gonna run to the restroom real fast.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you alone with the microphone. I don't know what's gonna happen while I'm gone.
Well.
Okay. So many things could or could not happen.
So many things could happen. I could actually trample over the cord and hurt myself.
Don't do that. Hopefully you can't hear me urinating.
Maybe we will. So there's a government warning. According to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcoholic beverages during pregnancy because of the risk of birth defects. Consumption of alcoholic beverages impairs your ability to drive a car or operate machinery and may cause health problems. Ball, please recycle. Golden Ale, 12 fluid ounce, Boulder, Colorado. Buffalo Gold is a light-bodied, easy-drinking, yet very flavorful golden ale from Colorado's first craft brewery. Sponsor us. Sponsor Peter Max Lawrence's podcast. So the weather is pretty nice. The temperature, I would say it's kind of like you're wearing your own skin, which means that it's pretty comfortable. As we speak, Peter's back from the loo. He's walking towards the computer, very carefully tiptoeing so he doesn't make any noise like a dormouse. Peter is wearing a lumberjack shirt today, which is plaid with black and red stripes. He definitely looks like a mountain man. He's also wearing corduroy pants with black socks, which seems like it's part of his aesthetic ensemble that's going on today. He carefully held his empty can of beer and tried to drink it and realized it's empty and therefore put it down. Welcome back, Peter.
Thanks, Laura. How's the show going?
Oh, it's going great. We had a great segment about Boulder Buffalo Gold beer.
Did you explain Stampede again?
No, you'll figure it out afterwards.
I'll listen to it.
You'll listen to it.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'm really not
There's
sure.
there's some good content in there. We have to shout out for the lady who just called us.
Oh, yeah. And good for her for putting up with us.
Yeah.
In no way did I mean to demean her position or job, but it just got really exhausting and I couldn't take it.
You have places to go. You have people to see. You have shows to attend. Tell us more about that.
Oh, really? I don't think it's about me right now. I think it's more about... Let's finish the show by singing the theme song.
Also, we should emphasize when the last time we saw each other was.
Emphasize.
Because we're catching up as we're talking to the public, and so
True and not true, because we did hang out earlier
We
tonight.
did.
So there was a couple juicy bits we didn't get on radio that
Yeah.
I am a little jealous that we didn't have. But has it been?
Some
It's
things are
been
better
18
than
months.
others.
It's been 2 years.
Oh, it's been a while. I would say because you left
But I
in
s-
2006. Well, no, we hung
We
out.
saw,
Oh
yeah.
Summer.
Last
You
summer.
were at Michelle's.
We saw each other last summer briefly.
Yeah, we did. Oh yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because you were at the Internet Archive.
I was at your opening for the Internet
It's
Archive.
true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not too long ago. It feels longer because we didn't really
We
work
only
on
got to
things
like.
and
Yeah, we
yeah.
didn't make our. We just.
or we didn't even there wasn't that's true. We did walk a whole ton though.
We socialized.
We
Whilst
socialized
walking.
hardcore.
You remember that
Hardcore
walk
social-
now? It's coming back to you.
That was a rough one. That was a walk.
That was nothing. That was nothing. But it was a bad hill. It was like 2 or 3. Oh, we went to Trail Hill.
Yeah,
and
that
then
was
walked down. Okay.
from Minnesota Street Projects all the way to where we had to go, that was
Hard's a mission, really, right? No,
Yeah, it's true.
That wasn't too far.
no, it wasn't too bad.
But going up that hill, I do remember that. We got to the top and we were both like,
Did we go to? No, that wasn't then. Because I think we ended up going somewhere to get pupusas.
was that night?
Yeah, I think so. No,
I think it was that night. That makes sense.
that might have been pupusas.
Well,
Anyways.
too bad we can't go get a pupusa tonight.
Oh, that was so good.
I hit almost every restaurant. This sounds so bougie and privileged and whatnot. But on this last trip after my parents' house burned down by a wildfire, as you know from previous episodes, if you listen to them in order, I did hit every single restaurant that I wanted to for nostalgia sake. NSF,
Wow.
except for Shanghai Dumpling King. That's the only one I didn't make it to. I know. Still.
Because you won't be able to get that anywhere else,
No,
especially where you're going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was a mistake on my part, but whatever.
Did you go to that burrito place near your place?
I went to like 900
Yeah.
burrito. Near my place.
Yeah.
The one right on the corner?
Yeah. No, the one, what's it
Oh,
called?
yeah, Green Chili
The
Kitchen.
Green Chili Kitchen, yeah.
That one I missed too. But I hit El Cancun and I hit
Nice.
some other spots.
Yeah, I miss El Cancun's
Yeah.
burritos at night. Those were good.
Yeah, I think they're on like a Lonely Planet now or something. They're lines
Oh, really?
It's horrifying. Maybe it's not
Lonely
okay.
Planet. I don't think anybody actually reads books anymore. Like, travel books.
Whatever, there's an app.
Okay.
But the kids stand in line for it's horrifying. And the burrito prices have gone up like
It was
easily.
already pretty pricey on my list. Like 8 something for.
Oh no, it's up to like 12 or 13 for meat burrito. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah. That's the way it goes.
Their horchata was good. But anyways,
what?
horchatas.
Oh yeah, the horchata was good.
Yeah.
Well, that said, Laura, it was really lovely to see
It
you.
was great seeing you, and you have to come back.
Of course, I'm definitely coming
Or
back.
I'll go to Greece.
Greek.
I love Greek yogurt, but I'll go to Greece.
Yes,
Yeah.
you must come.
Yeah.
Simply, I'm assuming Metaphors 13 is being shot on a Greek island.
I hear that's already happening, starring Meryl Streep in overalls.
If only we could afford Meryl Streep,
Yeah.
but we've got you. We'll always have you.
Oh yeah, I'll wear overalls.
Yeah.
And I could sing ABBA.
Do a Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. I don't know about that. Oh, I
Really?
know. Well, maybe not. No.
Well,
That's great.
that's great. Do you want to help me sing us out?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
What's
so
the
it's really
outro?
it's really hard. It's exactly the same as the beginning.
Which took us like 3 trials.
Yeah, I'm hoping this time we can just like nip it in the bud, but maybe not.
No. Because the beauty of it is getting it wrong.
That is truly the
And
beauty.
fixing it, and then getting it wrong again, and then fixing it, and then realizing that the first one was better.
And forcing people to listen to it
Oh,
all.
absolutely.
That's just the way we go.
Okay.
Great, you ready?
Yeah.
Time Waster Radio for those who refuse to listen.
to the radio nowadays because there aren't any radios except for car radios anymore.
Or podcasts.
Podcasts?
What? What's your thought?
I'm actually interested in how they're still called podcasts because we don't use iPods anymore.
And who's the brand? Yeah.
And who's, like, what pod?
What pod? Yeah.
Yeah, what
that
pod
branding
are we
really
talking
took
about?
over, right?
Yeah, it did. Now everything's called podcasts. Like, every radio show on the internet is
Listen
called
to our podcast.
Listen to our podcast, and then they have amazing sponsors, which you will have at some point.
Eventually.
Yeah. Or if you need a sponsor, I could at least make fake ads for your sponsorship.
Why did you have to tell everyone it's
I
gonna
know
be
it's
fake?
fake.
We have to pretend. We have to fake it till we make it, or whatever the kids stopped saying 17 years ago.
Because now, like, fake is real and real fake is fake. And so, therefore, there's no, if I'm saying fake ads, it could potentially mean that they're so real that they look as if they are fake.
That's why this is a radio show.
Yeah, and not a podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One more time.
Time Waster Radio.
Radio for those who refuse to listen.
I refuse.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye.
I don't know how you stop it.